Hey, what's happening gamers? It's Luke from GameZone back with another impressions video for you. It should come as no surprise to any of you how big of a Transformers fan I am, especially Gen 1 and the old Marvel comics. But based on Transformers' track record in video games, I can't say I wasn't too thrilled when War for Cybertron was announced. Does mixing gears with a classic series from my childhood end up being a very good or really bad thing? Watch this video to find out. Transformers War for Cybertron is a teen-rated third-person shooter mixed with some platforming and first-person shooting elements as well. The game is based on the Great War on Cybertron. Players have 3 modes that they can play. Campaign, which allows players to choose between Decepticon and Autobots. Multiplayer has lots of modes like Deathmatch, think of it as a free-for-all. Team Deathmatch, having you choose Decepticon or Autobot sides. Conquest, which is kind of like, take over this base. Power struggles like Capture the Flag and Code of Power. Competitive matches don't use canon Transformers though. Instead, players must create their own Transformer. A class system is in place and you can play as a car, truck, jet, or tank. The last mode is called Escalation and has you and your friends online surviving as many waves of enemy robots as you possibly can. You can also play as the original Transformers, and it's a lot of fun. The game also has downloadable content that is exclusive to pre-orders only, like Shockwave, Jazz, and Demolisher. That's all fine and dandy, but where is Prowl and Huffer, huh? Personally, online play was great, but for the purpose of this video, I will be focusing on the single-player campaign. Right at the beginning of the game, players can pick between Decepticon or Autobot. As the Decepticons, Megatron and company are trying to unleash the Dark Energon on Cybertron, while the Autobots are defending Iacon City and trying to reach the core and stop the Dark Energon from spreading. Selecting the bad guys is how the war on Cybertron begins. The story opens with Megatron leading an assault on a space station and ramming his ship into it. As soon as we have control of our character, you will notice how easy it is to switch between robot and vehicle mode with ease. Awesome job, High Moon Studios, for leaving in the transforming aspect of the game because it actually made it great. Shortly after, another cutscene plays and our character is alerted that your ship is about to explode. So in order to get away, the game wants us to get familiar with how to jump. As the ship explodes, Starscream greets you with some friendly security guns. Megatron then orders you to shoot the guns. If you've played any third-person shooter, you'll be right at home here, and the controls should become second nature in just a few short minutes. In case you haven't figured it out by now, the first chapter acts as a tutorial for the game. I've noticed that the first level you play as the good guys, there is no tutorial stuff whatsoever, and enemies are actually very challenging. Boss battles don't happen as much as you think for the Decepticons. Now that I think about it, off the top of my head, battling Zeta Prime and Omega Supreme is the only bosses you face early in the game. The Autobots, on the other hand, tangle with giant walker things, Starscream, Soundwave, a huge alien bug, and Trypticon, which acts as the game's final boss, by the way. Gameplay is excellent right off the bat, and I like that we have unlimited possibilities during combat. This game is so flexible and really lives up to the name Transformers. Finally! You have no idea how long I've been waiting for a true Transformers game. Just between the story...
Responsibility, Optimus Prime.
I will.
Behold, the matrix of leadership. Cybertron recognizes and welcomes Optimus Prime, Keeper of the Matrix, leader of the free Autobots.
The dialogue between the characters...
Into the tunnel, Decepticons, and try not to get crushed by the trains.
You're joking, right?
Yes, Breakdown. I am famous for my sparkling sense of humor. Now get moving, before I dismantle you myself!
Being true to the characters, real Transformers weapons and abilities, and everything that made Transformers what it was in the 80s is now captured in a video game format. What's cool is each Transformer has their own signature moves too, deemed kill strikes by the developers. Music and sound-wise, this game is awesome, and the fact that Peter Cullen reprised his role as Optimus Prime is awesome.
You're a skilled fighter, but you shouldn't be out here alone. Autobots are no longer safe in Iacon.
There are also top voice actors of this generation, including the likes of Johnny Young Bond,
I volunteered. Name's Bumblebee.
Stephen Bloom,
You're certain it's here?
Troy Baker,
Able, Megatron. Using that power, you're endangering our entire world.
Nolan North, Corey Burtman, just to name drop. The music has a film score to it, and the movies would be so jealous of how great this game sounds. Did I mention that Stan Bush also does some music for this game? I literally could spend hours gushing about how epic this game is, but I wouldn't be doing my job. As much as I like this game, it does have a few shortcomings. Sure, I could whine about the game's difficulty or so-called lack of ammo packs, but only hacks complain about the easy stuff. However, I do have a few small complaints that some of you may not even have thought of. I know it's difficult to make a Transformers game that doesn't suffer from repetitive mission structures, but why did both the Autobots and Decepticons have to switch between the same type of missions? Examples being land and air missions. This mirror format actually stays the same for the design aspect of the game too, and don't get me wrong, never before has Cybertron or the characters themselves looked this detailed. However, by modeling a game after Cybertron may be this game's biggest flaw. See, Cybertron is a massive planet filled with excellent characters and bland, lifeless environments. Even when I was a kid, Cybertron is where the really boring episodes always took place. So I just don't understand why they would make a whole game about this boring place. Now, as great as this game is, we can't explore it. We're stuck to a linear path the whole game. This is a huge thing that nobody has mentioned. With this gameplay, Transformers would have been an awesome sandbox game, but no. The game teases us with this huge, massive planet that we can never explore. It's like, oh, this is how big the planet is, but you can't go here. Lastly, co-op can only be played online, so there's no way to experience this game locally, and that's all the issues I have with this game.
Ruffle, eject. Operation disorientation.
Get ready to crumble before rumble!
All in all, I actually like this game. It does justice to my childhood, and at the same time, it stands on its own as a great video game. Sure, there's a few dents here and there, but nothing that can't be buffered out. War for Cybertron has so much to offer the gamer both in single player and online. I am so stoked that Activision has already announced a sequel, and I would love for this to continue in the 1980s Gen 1 on Earth. Then my complaints about the mirror design aspect of the game would no longer be a concern, because Earth has lots of beauty all around it, as opposed to bland, lifeless environments of the Transformers homeworld. Well, that does it for me, gamers. Don't forget to hit up our home site for awesome content you won't find anywhere else. This has been Luke. My catchphrase as always is God bless and happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, gamers.
Me again, Autobots! That's a promise!
Run, you yellow-plated coward!
Good work, Autobot.